Irreverent, entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Question Reality with Priscilla Leona, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome to Question Reality. I'm your host, Priscilla Leona, and we are coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Our show is broadcast every Sunday from 5 p.m. to 5:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, if this is your first time tuning in, our show will help you to question your career reality. Now, this show is for you if you're considering a career in the entertainment industry. And our guests will provide you with advice and resource information on how and what it takes to successfully pursue a career in show business. And all of our guests work in various professions and are at different stages of their career. So that means that we will definitely have someone on the show who will be able to help you with your show business career questions. If you want to check out our past guests, read their bios, listen to their instrument. Not all of them have instruments. Some of them are actually talking. If you want to listen to their interview instantly, try saying that 5 times. Interview instantly. Okay, or download one of the shows. You want to go to the LA Talk Radio website, and that's latalkradio.com. Click on the link at the top of the website that says Channel 1. You scroll down and look for our beautiful graphic, which is a picture of me. I am gorgeous from the chin up, so take a look. Then our show is called Question Reality, and you click on that link, and this will take you directly to our archive page, and that is where you can view the list of all of our past guests. Now, if you want to find out who is going to be on the show for next year, you have to go to our official page, and that is I can't think. You know, I've been hitting the Wild Turkey whiskey all day. Let's just admit it right here. I can't think today. Woo! All right. Carl Petersen, of course, has to get the show when I can't remember my show introduction, and he's going to say, "Wow, why me?" Okay, let's go back. You want to click on the link. This takes you directly to our archive page, and that's where you can view a list of the past guests. And there's a play button and then a download button, so you can play the interview instantly, or you can download it to your computer. Now, all of the radio shows on LA Talk Radio are available for download on iTunes under the podcast section and also on Stitcher.com. So just type in Question Reality Radio in the search box, and that is where you will find us. Also, now go to the LA Talk Radio homepage to download the free apps for your Android and your iPhone. So it's right on the homepage. You just got to scroll towards the bottom. Now we're back on track. If you want to find out about our future guests, or if you work professionally in the entertainment industry and you want to come on our radio show to share your sage wisdom or promote your projects, we are currently booking for 2015. So our shows are always booked. Just to keep it in mind, our shows are always booked 6 months to a year in advance. So if right now we're booking for March, so if you send us a request, keep in mind that it would be after March. And we'll remind you, so don't worry about us forgetting about you. Now, you want to go to our official Question Reality website, and that is questionrealityradioshow.com. It's different from latalkradio.com. That's the radio station. My website is questionrealityradioshow.com, and that is where you fill out the brief form on the contact page. So, again, if you want to be on the show or you know someone fabulous working professionally, questionrealityradioshow.com. Okay, now we're back on track. We have a fantastic guest for you today. I saw this guy, you know, I'm a screener for the Burbank Film Festival. Yay, yay. And I was screening some short films, and I saw this guy in a film, and oh my gosh, I cannot for the life of me, he's going to kill me, remember the name of the film. We'll find out when we talk to him in a minute. But I saw this film. It was, I'm I'm a lover of classic films, film noir, and this definitely caught my eye. And you can imagine that I screen hundreds of films. So you better be able to capture my attention in like 20 seconds because, think of me as a casting director when I'm looking at your demo reel. If it's not impressive within 20, 30 seconds, click, I have to move on because I got so many to go through. Of course, it's obvious. But I tell you, this was shot in black and white film noir style, and immediately it just perked my eyeballs up. My eyeballs just went, it was like a cartoon. They were vibrating and they were being titillated by the black and white scenery. So I continued to watch, and what do my eyes behold but this lovely man named Carl Petersen, and he came out, he was strong, he was focused, and he nailed that character. I mean, I was being transported back into the 40s. I was in this bar with him talking and trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do, trying to swoon that girl, but they were having a very bizarre kind of little interaction, but I was just mesmerized by Carl Petersen, and I said, I have to put a bullet point, write his name, and put a big sticky, and I got to look him up because I have to have him on the show. This guy is so super talented. He is, he's really captivating to watch. It's very hard to find captivating actors in short films that I watch. I'm just going to say my personal viewpoint. I watch so many. It's very rare that someone jumps off the screen and just mesmerizes me. But he is fantastic. He was fantastic in this movie. So I sought him out. I don't go looking for actors that I see when I screen all these films. He was the only one that I've ever done that for. And I said, my God, this guy is going to be huge. Or as they say in Jersey, he's going to be huge. Huge. He's going to be huge. He's just very talented. So without further ado, let's meet him together for everyone. Welcome, Carl Petersen.
Well, thank you so much, Priscilla. You're so sweet. You made me blush.
Well, I'm just telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You're going to be huge. Yeah. Remember that in My Cousin Vinny? It's huge. How did they say that? Can you do that accent, the Jersey accent? Who was it? Was it Ralph Macchio? No, it was Joe Pesci. When he's
I don't have that in my repertoire. Yeah, the Jersey accent's not with me.
Unfortunately. Next time you come back, you're going to have to do the ute and the huge. Oh, my God.
Huge.
It's huge, I tell you. Now, a little bit about you is I understand that you are an avid outdoorsman, and you always say that you often play the character of the quirky friend next door. So yes. I can totally see that because you were kind of doing that character in, please tell us what the name of the film was.
Mustache.
Mustache, thank you. I approve that. I don't know why they did not pick that, but I am the first line of defense, right? And I was like, I love it, and I totally approved it. But what do you? They've got like a whole board of people that end up choosing. I only put my selections through, but I loved it. So Mustache, I have a question for you. In this film, I was loving it. I was caught. I was adrift on the whole black and white film noir thing. Then, all of a sudden, I don't know who, whether it was the screenwriter or the director, I'm not sure, but decides to cut to a scene with the background in the modern time period with all of the cars. It threw me off, Carl. I was thrown off. I was so upset. I'm like, why would he do that, or she? I'm not sure. What happened? Was this meant to mean something? I don't understand it. My husband's like, why did they do that? I just don't understand, and I want to understand because the film was so good, except for that one part. It disturbed me. Carl, what happened? Why was this there? Please explain.
Oh, no.
It's up to you.
Well, I first of all loved how you said that your eyes were titillated by the short film, because I think it was shot on the red, and it's just a very beautiful picture.
Yeah. That's
so funny because that's one thing that I kind of thought about later. But to be honest, I'm not exactly sure why that was chosen, to film it that way.
So it wasn't something that we lost, because we were totally lost. We didn't know. And my husband's like, ask Carl. Why? He's the only one that can tell us, because we watched it several times. We couldn't figure out, and we thought you knew the secret.
Right. Well, I definitely don't know the secret, but I can make an assumption in that the film was shot in the style of the 40s, but not necessarily set in that period of time. So it wasn't like, it wasn't like definitely a 1940s film, just done in that style.
Right, but the acting was definitely film noir.
Absolutely, yes.
And of course, based on the way you guys were dressed, it really gave off the 40s, and even the acting of the bartender, and even the setting, because initially we could only see you sitting at the bar. That was a bar that we couldn't differentiate if it was in the 40s film noir style. We couldn't differentiate until we went modern. And then I'm like, what? Was that not done? Then I had to look at the next scene all over again, because I was like, wait a minute, I was in a film noir moment, and then I was in a modern moment, and then I thought, well, am I missing something? I was almost reaching for the medicine cabinet to take a pill. I'm telling you.
Don't do it.
I was confused. So what do you think the goal was to shoot the modern? Was it being shot modern, and he had no intention of it even being represented by a film? Go ahead.
It could have been. It could have been a thing with the budget too, and getting old-fashioned cars like that and getting the streets blocked off. To be honest, it's also something I hadn't really given a lot of thought to either. So,
okay. All right. All right. So we're back where we started from, everybody, because I've been telling the story because I was so enamored with you in this film, and this is something that I really have been telling stories about, because I said I found this great actor, and I told him how. So now the story has been spreading around about this black and white film noir, which everyone's like, I want to see it. How can I see it? And I'm like, I have no idea. I can't even remember the name of it. All I remember is Carl Petersen. That's all I remember. Yeah. So now I have no story. I actually am probably going to have to talk to the screenwriter about this, because I can't go referring it and then have people say, because as soon as I told them about the whole the modern car scene, they're like, well, why did he do that? What was his goal, motivation? So I have to have the backstory. So I will be, hopefully you can put me in touch with the screenwriter, and then maybe we can bring him on, or because, of course I want to promote the movie with you in it for sure. But people are going to ask about that, and I have to have the answer. I can't say, well, I don't know, because they're going to say, well, Carl was on your radio show. Why didn't you ask him? And I'm going to say, Carl doesn't know either. All right, moving on. So let's make that a goal. Please send me his contact information so we can have him.
I will. I'll actually see her tomorrow, because I'm going to shoot a spec commercial with her.
Okay, great. Yeah, tell her I definitely want to promote that, because I think it was a wonderful film, but we just need to find out how I can explain that modern car scene. All right. So now I understand you have a BFA in theater, and you studied contemporary and Shakespearean theater in London. Hello, that is like the dream. Tell us, how did that come to be? Are you a little silver spoon rich kid who got to fly off to London and study in the Royal Academy? Come on, tell us.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm actually from a small little farming town in eastern Washington that didn't really have much, if anything, of a drama department. In high school, we wrote our own plays and put them on twice a year, and we had a once-a-year musical that went on. and just got a BFA in theater. Went over to the west side of the state in Washington State, and then I studied abroad and went over to London. And it was actually cheaper for me to go to school in London than Washington, and just ended up getting a lot of scholarships with good grades and trying to be a outstanding citizen and get all those extracurricular activities.
Well, what we wouldn't expect any more from the boy next door. I mean, my God. Now, where did you study in London? Let's give the place some props.
It was the University of London.
University.
So I actually lived with a homestay family out in Northwood, and I would take the subway into school at University of London to King's Cross, and that was about an hour-and-a-half trip every morning and then an hour-and-a-half trip back.
Wow.
So I was very dedicated.
You are dedicated, Carl Petersen. Now, what did you find? Because obviously, I assume that you studied theater here as well. What did you find were the differences in the disciplines? Because I personally, and I don't want to get any emails like I normally do, but I am obsessed with everything England. I lived there for 6 months. And I, of course, I followed a British boy, and I just decided to stay because it was party every night. Of course, it's a long time ago. But I love everything England. And I find that the actors, that I'm much more drawn to British actors, Irish actors, Scottish actors. I just feel their intensity for their roles are just, I have never, bottom line, I've never seen a bad British actor, Scottish, Welsh, Irish actor. I don't know. It's like everyone who's over there, they're just absolutely professional, and they just nail their parts and the roles, and they make the characters their own. Like I just saw Cumberbatch. Oh gosh, what's his first name? Cumberbatch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember either, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh my God, he is. But he is. It's somebody Cumberbatch. Oh God, I'm so sorry because I love this guy. He was in Star Trek. He's in Sherlock Holmes. He's just an amazing actor. And he just.
Oh, Benedict.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch. Thank you. Yeah, he was the voice of Smaug in The Hobbit. Oh, just amazing. And just so many other British actors like Morgan Freeman. Oh, please. Not Morgan Freeman. Martin Freeman. That's in Sherlock. Just wonderful British actors. And I feel that they have a discipline in theater, and being taught theater over there, or in their acting schools, or wherever they're taught, that somehow is different from the techniques being taught here. Because I have heard of a technique. Of course, there's Meisner, and there's Method, and there's so many, Viola Spolin and Uta Hagen. But I have there is an acting method called English Mask that originates from England. So, would you kind of not clarify, but give your opinion on the differences in discipline between being taught theater acting in England versus here, or if there are any differences?
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I would say that I'm having trouble putting my finger on it as well, but I would agree with you in that there are different styles. I remember actually seeing one of the plays, Lieutenant of Inishmore, in, I think it was maybe the Royal Theatre over in London. And that was the first play that I saw that was just so raw, and there was like blood that was squirted like onto the audience member.
Oh Lord!
And it deals with the IRA in Ireland, and that was the first time that I had really been kind of shocked by the theater. And I also saw theater in like a promenade where you're standing, and the actors like act all around you, and it's all encompassing. And I would say that the theater over there is probably a little more serious. It's a little more like interactive, and I think it's as adverse to New York, to Los Angeles. New York is more of a theater town, and I would say London is probably one of the premier theater, quote unquote, towns in the world, I would say. But as far as styles, I'm not sure, because I think that all great theater teaches the truth. You know, it's all about finding the truth in the character and the script and the story. Yeah, that's a really tough question. You stumped me, Priscilla.
I'm stumping you all day today. We're going to continue with the stumped questions. Okay, so you have written and produced 8 short films, and you're currently writing 2 feature films. So now, producing these 8 short films, now I tell you, we got to know your secret, because it is so hard to get 1 short film done, let alone 8, and then now 2 feature films. What is your secret? Do you do it do you raise funds? Is it private funds from your own vault in the basement, or do you do you do it via Indiegogo or Kickstarter? How do you get funding for these short films, and what would be some advice in order for other people to get short films done?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I would say my first advice is to come from a family with money. Who are affluent with that sort of thing. If you're not, which of course I am not, I think we established that. I think one of the toughest things in pursuing a career in the arts, if you're not from money, is that you have to have a day job. And so working around the day job and being dedicated to not only working your survival job, but continuing to work when you get home, and not, just sit in front of the TV, but to be constantly, working to, progress in your career. So my first 7 short films were all self-funded. They were all made for under probably $400.
What?
Just working on a shoestring budget, calling in favors to friends, working with deferred pay. They were all more along the lines of sketch comedy. And then this last film, All the Marbles, I contacted a director that I did a film with him a few years back, and it was for his thesis from the master's program at USC. Mm-hmm. And when I got it back, it was the first student film that I've ever done that I was just blown away by. Like, I almost forgot that I was in it. And then when I came on the screen, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in this movie. And then, so I called him up and asked if he'd like to be in, or, wanted to direct it. And he said yes. And then, he kind of sat on it for a little while, and I came back and was just like, hey, what's going on? I want to make this thing, if you're not going to do it, like, I need to, look elsewhere. And he's like, well, the thing is that we're going to need some money. And I was like, well, how much? And he's like, well, several thousand, like at least 10,000. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's quite a bit. I don't have that. So I was looking at Kickstarter and Indiegogo for raising money. And Kickstarter, basically, you have to meet your entire goal in order to get the money. And also they work through Amazon, I believe. And Indiegogo, you can make payments through your credit card. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was a little bit easier. And also, if you don't meet your entire goal, you can still get the money. You just pay a higher percentage. Mm-hmm. So went that route. And we had a successful campaign and raised, I think, around $12,000 for our first fundraising campaign.
That's incredible. Let's stop right there, because so many people start fundraising campaigns for their film projects, and I'd say 75% of them say, and again, this is people telling me this, they say that they don't reach their goal. What is the secret, Carl? What is the secret to reaching your goal? And then you obviously plus funded, so how did you do it? What can these people do to meet their goal? Carl, tell us!
Shameless promotion. Just constantly talking about it. Like, everywhere that I went, I would just plug in my movie. I would say, someone would say, oh, hey, how you doing? And I know that they're just saying, like, hello, but I would be like, oh, I'm making this short film right now. Do you want to see, do you want to know all about it? And just tell them. And
But
share the link.
Did you go hard via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn? What are all the social media sites that you utilized?
Yeah, Facebook was the biggest one. I would say Facebook, and I would send emails as well. I'm a very organized person, and I have lists of people.
Oh, honey, so everything's color-coded over here. I am with you.
Oh, yeah.
I am color-coded. I love that you're organized. I could tell that also from your emails because, when I emailed you, you responded back right away. And I am a big stickler for people who send emails and they misspell words and they used inappropriate grammar. And your punctuation was beautiful. I just had to throw Carl, I was loving your emails. So and I absolutely agree with you. You really have to be organized. People just think if they're going to stick a Kickstarter Indiegogo campaign on there, and they think they're living in the film Field of Dreams. If we post it, they will come. Well, no, they're not coming. You're not Kevin Costner. They're not coming. You have to work and you have to think of it as a business. You have to. Right. You are, and a lot of people think that they leave off the business part. They just focus on the art and the craft. Well, it's a damn business, show business. So you have to be the sales department, the marketing department, the accounting department. You have to be everything. And this requires that you constantly have to network and market. So I, of course, know the answer to that. So keep in mind when I ask you the questions, I know the answers, but we just pretend I don't know so that you can. So, we know that. So don't mind me. Forgive me for taking over and answering your question. I just got swept away for a minute. But yeah, so social media,
I love it.
Networking, what are some, obviously those are the things that we should know, but what are some other ways when you go to parties, you got to, like you said, spread it, but anything else that we don't know about that could help?
Well, I would say one of the biggest things is to remind people. I sent out a few reminders, and I had maybe a couple people that, wrote and said remove me from your list type of thing. And that's going to happen when you're trying to raise money, and that was the hardest thing for me, was raising money, because I'm Scandinavian, and that's just not part of my it's not in my blood to ask for handouts.
Right. Yes.
So that was the biggest thing. And also I had lots of people that said, "Oh yeah, I'm totally going to do that. I would love to." And then they never did. And so I would remind them and give them gentle nudges. And I would try not to be annoying, but of course I kind of had to put my ego aside and just know that I want to make, how badly I want to make this film, and just not have my pride get in the way of wanting to create something. Right. And that was even more important when after our first filming, we realized that we were going to need to get some pickup shots because we had a very ambitious film schedule, trying to get everything in 3 days, and our film, there's just so much to it, in terms of the set production and the costumes and the makeup and the locations, and we had lots of extras, and so we realized that we were going to have to film a couple days of pickups, and so we had to raise money again, and we raised another $10,000 doing it that way.
What?
And yeah,
are you kidding me? So you got over $22,000 to do these films?
Yes.
Oh my God! I cannot believe it. I'm telling you, I'm blown away by this. And was it the same people that had originally given to the first campaign, or was this a whole new crop of people you discovered?
Some were the same, some were different. We did have a few that donated to us directly through the Indiegogo site that didn't know the director or myself, which was really exciting. And, one other thing that I'd like to mention is that we thought about sponsors. We thought about people that could possibly sponsor this film. And luckily for us, we dealt with something that's very specific in marbles. And there's not a whole lot of marble companies out there. And so I made some calls to different marble companies and reached out to Mega Marbles. And they're based they have several different offices, but at the time they were making marbles in Mexico. And they're one of the largest marble makers in the U.S., in the world. And so I talked to them, and they were interested, and we had a few emails back and forth. And then I had a conference call with 3 other CEOs from around the country, and basically pitching our short film and why they should invest in us and why they should, come on board with the project. And we actually made a deal, and they were able to donate the marbles to us. So all the marbles that you see were directly donated from them, and they gave a contribution to the film as well. And so that was huge.
That is, and that is excellent forethought to be able to say, hey, I'm using marbles. Let me get in contact with the marble company. It's just, you got to think outside the box sometimes. I mean, that's obvious thinking, but for some people, honey, that's like thinking outside the box. That's like reaching for the stars. They couldn't, grasp that. But then they shouldn't be making movies. But, they try. God bless them. We have to give them the props. So we actually don't know what all the marbles is about. So briefly tell us what the synopsis is. Set us up with that.
Yeah, sure. So all the marbles is essentially about a young, timid boy that challenges this villainous bully to a game of marbles in sort of this bizarre and fantastical world where marbles are considered more precious than gold.
Wow.
So it's a very dark, sort of eerie tone to it, but it's a very fun film as well. It's family friendly.
Well, I understand. I went on your Facebook page, which, by the way, we have to remember to promote. Let's get that out there right now. He's on Facebook.com, All the Marbles. Go there now. And when I went there was a tree fort. Is there a tree fort? The coolest thing ever in your picture?
Yeah.
A damn tree fort?
Yes,
what are
there
you
is.
doing up in that tree fort?
Well, actually, I can't talk about the tree fort too much because it's actually a reveal at the end of the film.
Well, it's right there on your Facebook page for everybody to see. You might want to take it off, Carl Petersen.
Yeah.
It's big, and you got comments and everything. So we already know the reveal now. There's a damn tree fort in the movie. You better run and take that off then. All right, well.
Oh, boy.
It's out of the bag. Oh, my God.
Well,
Please, people go to Facebook
and all
all the marbles to see the tree fort because he's going to take it down.
No. What I will say about that, though, is that it deals with the boy's imagination. So this little boy sort of his imagination runs wild, and so this bully that he's dealing with, he's kind of created this world, this fantastical world, and made things more scarier than they seem to be, and than they actually are in real life.
Well, I am excited about that. It's in final post-production. It's going to be ready for festival release around the holidays. So please make sure that you keep us all abreast. Add my email address, and I will promote that for you because we want to see a bunch of marbles and the tree fort.
Well, thank you.
We want to see
that would be wonderful.
Now, Mustache, of course, was the name of the film that we talked about, but that's having a great festival run, and then you're currently writing, I think you said, a Western thriller with the filmmaker. Is that something that's in development or pre-production now? Because that is information might be a little old.
No, we're still writing it right now. And Mustache, you can find it at mustachethefilm.com.
There you go,
and,
people. You can see that notorious, infamous scene that I'm talking about. Mustachethefilm.com. Thank you. I'm writing that down right now. All right. And how's that doing? I mean, is it out of the festivals, or you onto the distribution?
It's actually still in festivals, but it will be ending its festival run, I think, in a few months. We have a few more festivals that we're going to play at, but it's won a bunch of awards. At Laughlin Film Festival, took home the Grand Jury Prize, and then it won a bunch of awards at Action on Film Festival as well. But I think it's been in more than 20 film festivals or so.
I'm so happy because I just don't know. I'm not going to talk about it anymore, but I'm just so upset they didn't take my recommendation because you belonged in that Burbank Film Festival. Oh, right next to Alec Baldwin, who had a film.
Oh, yeah.
And we had not Alec Baldwin. Oh, Jesus God, no, his brother, one of the Baldwin brothers. I can't believe it. Steven, I don't know, Daniel, I'm not sure. He had a film in the Burbank Film Festival, and then we had the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then there were so many people there, and please make sure that you submit your projects to Burbank again next year. So I might have to.
Okay, we'll have to get the Marbles one in there.
Yeah, we'll have to get the Marbles one in there for sure. Okay, so apparently there's another movie called Artistic Venture, and that's a short film that you recently starred in, and that's also near the end of post-production, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and tell us about.
And so in there, I play a character which I don't get to play a lot because I said I get to play the quirky boy next door. And in all the Marbles, I get to play a villain, which I don't normally get to play. And in Artistic Venture, I kind of get to play sort of a pompous douchebag, which is really fun for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because I see you, and I'm sure many people have told you this before. You have, who I think this guy was just a brilliant actor. I don't know where he is or what happened to him, but you remind me of Crispin Glover. Do you remember him?
Oh, okay.
Do you know who he is? He's that dark character. He played he played like the dad in the Michael J. Fox Back to the Future, and then he had a huge following in cult films, and gosh, I would have to pull up IMDb to tell you all of his credits, but
yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that's interesting. I've never got him before, but I can see that. I actually got last night Zach Morris, which I've never gotten before.
Who?
Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
What? No. Well, I can see the cuteness factor. But yeah, I think you're more Crispin Glover. You can play the dark. You have a very wide range, and I can totally see you do the Crispin Glover type parts. But that's fantastic that you're so diverse, because I look at your filmography on IMDb, and you are able to really execute comedic characters. You can play like the dorky, quirky guy next door, but then you can go dark, but then you can go elegant, sophisticated. I mean, your look alone, and that's initially what they base it on. They don't really. You just are so you're diverse in appearance. So I highly suggest every screenwriter, director, producer, look up my darling Carl Petersen, Petersen, right now on IMDb, and check out his photographs, or your website, Carl-Petersen.com, because you've got a lot of great headshots there, and of course, take it from me that he's a phenomenal actor. Now, you also, I understand, very exciting, just booked a role in the feature film Love, Meet, Hope. Tell us about this.
Yes.
You're working with Amanda Markowitz and Ed Asner. I have like 6 friends that have worked with Ed Asner within the last year. I'm like, he's doing more projects now, I think, than he did when he was on Mary Tyler Moore's show. It's been at least 12 people, honestly. He is rocking it out. Yeah. So tell us about it.
I think he's having like a Betty White comeback.
He is! He has a resurgence. He's had a resurgence. Thank God.
How did you know about Love, Meet, Hope? I don't think I even told you about that.
You did not tell me about it, but what is my job, Carl Petersen? My job is to, when I bring people on, I research them fully, 100%. Actually,
that's good.
Actually, my assistant, I beat that bitch like a dog and have her research.
Oh, no.
No, but I actually found you. I found this information out about you, and I hope that it's okay to bring it up. But if you put it on
absolutely,
internet,
yes, please.
I know, Carl Petersen, I know things about you that you don't even know that I know about you, Mr. Carl Petersen, and they're all good, all good. So tell us about Love, Meet, Hope.
Well, I actually don't have the entire script yet because I was just cast in it just a few days ago, early last week.
October 27th, you were cast in it.
Yes.
Now, could it possibly be that I'm friends with the casting director, or maybe maybe the director, and I happen to be telling the person that you were going to be on my radio show? I don't know, my darling.
Oh, interesting.
But you just never know.
Yeah, and that's going to be a really fun role for me too, because I play sort of a gay catering manager. Mm-hmm. And one of my survival jobs before I started doing a lot more photography was doing a lot of catering and bartending.
Right.
And so I've been a catering manager, so I definitely know that high-end world, and there's high stakes involved, so it's very therapeutic for me to play that role.
We need as much therapy as possible being in there.
Yes.
I think everybody needs to have their own. Part of our team, we have to have the agent, the manager, the PR person, and we need a full-time therapist. It has to be on the team. Yes. So if you're considering a career as an actor, make sure you save for the therapist. Now, let's get into the career advice because we only have about 10 minutes left. Being a member of various improv groups, as you were a member of Upright Citizens Brigade, Iowa West, Groundling, Second City. What are the advantages to taking these types of classes? I highly recommend this to people. There are so many actors go, I'm not interested in comedy. I'm a drama actor. Well, some of the best dramatic actors are people who took comedy improv classes. So we're going to have Carl Petersen tell you right now. He's going to lay it down for you because he's an alumni of the the Upright Citizens Brigade. So tell us. I tell people it's so important for you to have improv because and to take theater classes, even if you want to be a film and television actor, because you learn how to do improv. You learn how to ad-lib. There are times on the set when you're going to forget your lines. Of course, you can't do that on the set, but it's more theater. But it's very helpful. So please tell us briefly, how the advantages to taking these types of classes.
Yeah, I would say one of the main things is to be comfortable in your own skin, and to be comfortable when other actors, throw something off or throw something to you that's, not written in the script, and being able to think quickly on your feet and respond to that. When I first moved to LA, I took an acting class where the acting coach was trying to breed me to be like a sort of an action hero, I can't pick the word, but anyway, something that I really, yeah, just something that I wasn't. I wasn't quite the leading man that could sort of pull off that role, and he was trying to bulk me up and get me all muscly for that, and he was dressing me a certain way, wanted me to wear suits and slick my hair back, and I went into a manager meeting that I got through him, and the guy said, "Hey, look, I like you." He's like, "You're a good actor, but I don't get who you are." And he's like,
right.
He's like, "I don't think this is normally, who Carl Petersen is," and that really hit me and struck me, and I was like, "Yeah, you're right." And then I was like, missing kind of this comedic piece of my life. And then so I got into improv and just realized that it was good for my soul to play and just invent and create. And I think that really helped me as a writer as well, being able to think more quickly on my feet. And it's just such a fun atmosphere when things in the arts career can be very difficult and trying at times.
Well, I absolutely agree, and what you're describing is very important for an actor to really understand their branding and how to market themselves for who they are, and because a lot of these agents and managers and people think they know what you are, and they try to brand you who they think you are, and if it doesn't feel right, that is not you. You gotta talk to a lot of people, talk to a lot of agents, managers, and say, how do you see me? And then take whatever feels best. Now, I want to ask you, what do you feel are the pros and cons in the life of an actor?
Oh boy. I would say
you didn't know you were going to be interviewed by one of the best radio hosts out there, and I give the questions. The questions I give you, you actually have to study and prepare for. I should have sent you these questions in advance. Should I not have?
No, well, this is great. This is keeping me thinking quickly on my feet.
Good. So, anyone who's considering a career as an actor, what are the pros and cons?
Well, I would say that the pros are definitely being able to play in a field that other people, it's just not a normal career. It's not a normal career path. So it's always like being in a piece of Disneyland, when you book a role or when you're on set, those things are really exciting and it's a lot of fun. And you get to meet a lot of neat people. I've met a lot of stars, which is really exciting. So that's always fun. And it's also fun to lose a piece of yourself when you're acting and you're really in a character and, you're just not thinking about anything else, nothing, like you don't exist and you become another character. And that's always really exciting to me. That's why I fell in love with acting in the first place. And I would say the cons are just the business part of it, in that it's frustrating when you're not going out with your agencies. You're not getting auditions, or maybe you are getting auditions but you're not booking. There's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of reasons why you would or wouldn't get booked for something, and just really sticking with it, because you're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get rejected a lot. And that's the number one reason why I started making my own projects, was because I was getting frustrated that my fellow actor friends were getting auditions that I wasn't. And when I would book a project, sometimes I would realize that this project is not, something that I want to be involved in, or I can do something better. And that's why I started creating my own material, because I thought, well, shit, if they're doing this, like I could do something better.
Right. Absolutely.
So I just started doing it.
Now, what advice do you have to anyone who wants to pursue a career as an actor? It could be anything like study this, education-wise, prepare for this, don't do this, do that, just some tips.
Yeah, well, the first thing is just to create your own material, kind of like what I said, because it'll open up new opportunities for you and help you grow as an actor. And also, casting a project or directing or producing or writing, it opens new doors for how you will approach a character and how you see things, and so that's helped out a lot. Boy, what else?
Well, take some classes. You can't just come out here and think you're automatically going to be a star. A lot of people come out here and they think, they watch television or they see film and they think, acting's easy, I can do that. So they get their $50 together and they hop on a bus, a Greyhound, out to California, and they think, I'm here! And they're looking around thinking someone's going to make them a star. So they end up not prepared. You have to be prepared. It is very expensive to live here. It is very expensive to live in New York. If you want theater, go to New York, I would say. Go to New York. If you want to do film, television, come to LA. But you know what? These days, you don't even have to come to LA or New York. If you can't afford to live out here, you got to save. You got to have at least enough money for an apartment for a year, and utilities and gas and a car. You can't be out here and go to auditions without a car. So please save money and don't come out here with your piggy bank underneath your armpit. It's just, you're going to go home really fast, or you're going to get in some serious trouble. Oh
yeah. I was pretty much giving myself 1 year when I first moved to LA to find out if it was going to work out for me or not.
Yeah.
And then when that passed, I was like, I'll give myself 5 years. And when that passed, I was like, I'll give myself 10. And
well, hey, so, it's working for you. It's working for you,
Yeah.
because you're not only you're exploring the whole aspect of entertainment, actor, I don't know if you direct it, but actor, producer, screenwriter, and it's working. If you can get $22,000 for a short film, you're doing something right, Carl Petersen. So
thank you.
You continue to do that.
I would just add that being true to who you are as a person is very important too, and not letting someone tell you or trying to put you in a certain role or position, and also finding things that outside of acting that make you happy, because especially if you're moving to a new city and things in the industry are definitely tough, you're going to have days that are hard, and finding things like physical activities or going to the theater or movies or volunteering, things that just make you happy and are good for your soul are going to be all around just good for acting and just you as a person.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Carl Petersen. Can you believe it's time to ring our ear like Carol Burnett? Because I can't. I know, it goes so fast. Well, you and I
don't want it to end, Priscilla.
I know, Carl Petersen. I know. I love your name so much. I have to use the whole name, Carl Petersen. I love that name. It rolls on. Well, see, this is going to inspire me to ask you, after I do all of this, to come back and promote some of your film projects next year. Will you come back on our radio show and promote some of your stuff?
Yes, I would love that.
And
Absolutely,
feel free to send me an email to promote anything. I'll do it as an advertisement for you, so send it to me. Everybody, check out his website, carl-petersen.com. He's on IMDb. He's allthemarblesmovie.com. He's on Facebook, All the Marbles. He's on Twitter at Petersen Picture. I think he left an S off on that. Petersen Picture, Vimeo, All the Marbles trailer. He's on YouTube. Please check out Petersen Pictures. Oh, he added an S on that. Oh, he's a photographer. We didn't even talk about that. He's a phenomenal photographer. Check out his website, petersenpictures.com. Thank you, Carl Petersen, for being on the radio show. Did you have a good time?
Oh, I had a wonderful time.
I'm so
sorry.
We did not get through the other 16 questions that I had, career advice questions, so you have to come back now for sure next year.
Okay,
let me know when you're available. We're going to book you. And everybody, please check out anything Carl Petersen is. I promise you, and you know I never say this, I never say things that aren't true, and Carl Petersen is a wonderful actor. As a matter of fact, I can't wait to cast him in some of my upcoming film projects, so I'll be calling Petersen. Thank you. Say goodbye to your fans.
All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Priscilla.
You're welcome, darling. We'll see you next week on Question Reality. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
You're listening to Question Reality with Priscilla Leona, right here on LA Talk Radio.